Hey guys, welcome to CPM 2. We're going to do our Module 2 practice test. This is basically the Module 2 review. So I'm not going to read all of this up at the top again. We're just going to jump right into the vocab, but you can read the top if you'd like. So we got vocabs and the definitions. It says 18y squared plus 8x minus 25. That is called an expression. So first blank is expression. While 18y squared, 8x, and negative 25 are called a term. So first one's expression, second one is term. Individually, they're all terms. If you put some subtraction, addition to them, then it becomes an expression. In the ordered pair, 9, 5, the x value is the 9. And the y value is the 5. So it's always x comma y. Number 3, a blank equation in two variables can be written in the form of ax plus by equals c. That is linear. Those make your straight lines. Number 4, the term 9x is called a variable, while the term 3 is called a constant. So first one is variable term, second one is constant term. And then number 5, to solve 5 in parentheses x minus 1 equals 35, we first use distributive property. You're going to do 5 times x and 5 times negative 1. 6, to solve x minus 9 equals negative 12, you're going to use addition property. Okay, and remember subtraction is umbrellaed under that addition. There's no subtraction property. So if you're adding something over or subtracting something over, that is addition property. Number 7, to solve 9x equals 18, use multiplication property of equality. So same thing as addition, there is no such thing as division property. If you are multiplying or dividing, you're using multiplication property of equality. There's no subtraction property, there's no division property. Addition is subtraction and addition. Multiplication is division multiplication. All right, now this is going to get a little crowded. There's not quite enough room for all of these, but we'll do what we can here. Number 8, we are simplifying. When you simplify, you are simply combining like terms. So these are all like terms because you have a z, and a z. So just add the coefficient. So first one here, 18 plus 13z. 18 plus 13. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry your 1, that's a 3. So we get 31z. Bring down your minus 16. So now combine these. So 31 minus 16. We're going to turn that 1 into an 11, which means I need to borrow from the 3. So 11 minus 6 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my final answer here is 15z. Number 9, we are multiplying. Again, just like with this first one here, there is no equal sign. So that means you can't solve anything. Same thing here. This one has an equal sign, so you can solve. This one doesn't have an equal sign, so you are combining like terms again. So I'm just going to put a little arrow down here. We're combining like terms here as well. So first what we need to do is distribute. So 6 times 9 gives me 54. Bring down that n. 6 times 11 is going to give me a negative 66. Watch your signs. Positive times negative is negative. bring down your minus 20 in, sorry. So now combine your like terms. We can combine a 54 in and a negative 20 in. So remember to keep that sign right there in front of it with it. So 54 minus 20 gives me 34 in. And then just bring over your negative 66. Now be careful here because you cannot do anything else. This is my final answer. These are not like terms. This one has an N. This one does not have an N. So don't combine those. That is as much as we can do on that problem. Now, 10, 11, and 12, these all say to solve. Solve means you need to get the variable by itself. So, on 10, we got x plus 16 equals 24. So, what is happening to this x is we are adding 16 to it. You need to do the opposite operation. So the opposite of adding 16 is to subtract 16. And what we do to one side of this equation, we must also do to the other side of this equation. So I'm going to subtract 16 over here as well. So I'm going to get x equals 8. And so we've got that variable by itself, so we are done. 11, solve the equation, so get x by itself. So what is going on between my x and my number? Well, if you don't see an operation, that's multiplication. So what is the opposite operation to multiply? That's divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Again, what I do to one side of this equation, I must also do to the other side. So I'm going to divide this side also by 4. My 4's cancel, and I'm left with x equals 24 divided by 4 is 6. Okay, and then 12, solve the equation again. So what is going on between my variable and my number? Well, this little bar right here means to divide. The opposite operation to divide is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 4. And what I do to one side of this equation, I must also do to the other side. So I've got to multiply this side also by 4. My 4's on the left cancel, so I'm left with x equals, and 11 times 4 gives me 44. Okay, solve the equation. So still the same thing, do the opposite operation. The opposite of subtracting 16 is to add. So I'm going to add my 16 over. And what we do to one side, we must also do to the other side. So if I add 16 to one side, we've got to add 16 to the other side. So over here, we're going to get x equals 40. $14 is the same concept, but we got a couple different steps to do on this one. The goal here is to get, let's see. The goal is to get x on one side of your equal sign and then the number on the other side of the equal sign. So you can either put the x on the left, number on the right, or you can do your number on the left and then your variable on the right. Okay, it does not matter. So I'm going to solve this one by doing it both ways. So if I start by doing it actually this way here, and this is usually not the way I like to do it. I usually like my variable on the left and my number on the right, but I'll show you why I like this method more on this one. So if I want to get my number on the left, that means I need to get this number over here. So the opposite of adding 6 is to subtract 6. And actually, I'll keep that circle. Okay, it's to subtract 6. And what I do to one side of this equation, I'm also doing to the other. So my 6's over here cancel. So I'm left with 5x minus 15, same sign, so add and keep the sign, equals 6x. So I have my number over here. So now let's get the variable over here. So the opposite of a positive 5x is a negative 5x. So I'm going to get negative 15 equals 6 minus 5 is 1x, or just x. So there's my answer. Okay. So pause this video, write it down, watch it, but I'm going to take all this away. I'm going to do it the other way to kind of show you why on this case it's the easiest. If you kind of noticed here, when you have 6 minus 5, you get a positive x, and so that's why this side is easier. If we go the opposite way, which I have a feeling a lot of people will do, if I go this way, the way that I normally like, something different kind of happens. I am going to need more room, so I'm going to just take this and write it up here. So I've got, let's actually go even up a little bit higher. I'm going to get 5x minus 9 equals 6x plus 6. Okay. So if I go this way here, that means I need my number to the right. So the opposite of subtracting 9 is to add 9. And what I do to one side of this equation, we're also doing to the other side. My 9's cancel, and I get 5x equals 6x. 6 plus 9 gives me a positive 15. The other one gave me a negative 15. So now I have my number over here. So now I need to get my variable over here. So the opposite of a positive 6x is a negative 6x. So we're going to subtract 6x over. That cancels. Here's why I don't like doing it this way on this specific problem. Notice right here, 5 minus 6 does not give me a positive 1x. This gives me a negative 1x, or just a negative x. So on this problem, we are not done. So now I have to solve this for a positive x. So to get that to a positive x, we will divide both sides by negative 1. You can also multiply both sides by negative 1. Either way, that negative and negative cancel each other out. And now I'm left with a positive x. 15 divided by negative 1 is negative 15. So you get the same answer no matter which way you move things. But in this case, when you do it this way, you do get this extra step right here because you get that negative variable, which means you have to divide by negative 1. So if you can kind of make sure when you move something over, if you can move it over where you get a positive 1x, then you're good to go. Now, if you get a negative anything else, you're going to have to divide it by anything. So it's really just whenever you get that 1. Okay, on 15, we are solving. So anytime you see parentheses, you need to distribute first. So we get 9 times 5x gives me 45x. 9 times a negative 3 gets me a negative 27. Bring down your equal sign and your 45x. So remember, the goal here is to get either x on one side and your number on one side, or your number on one side, x on the other side. Either way, you need your variables opposite. Because I already have my number right here, we need to go for this layout again. I've already got my number here, so that means I need to get my variable over here. So the opposite of a positive 45x is a negative 1. So we're going to subtract 45x over. 45 minus 45 is 0. So we get negative 27 equals 46 minus 45 is 1x, or just x. Okay, on 16, still solving. So, I maybe should have done this a while ago, but your first step when you're solving these is to distribute first, just like we did right here. Second thing to do is combine like terms. Third thing to do is to get your variable on one side, your number on the other side. And that might be a little confusing, so let's do variable equals a number, or a number equals a variable, okay, like this or this. And then lastly, get variable alone. Not along, alone. Okay. So in this problem here, I have nothing to distribute, so we don't need to worry about that one, but I can combine like terms. On this side here, we can combine those. 3 minus 10 gives me a negative 7. So we got negative 7 equals z over negative 8. So get z by itself. What's going on between z and my negative 8? Well, this bar right here means to divide. The opposite of divide is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply what I do to one side of the equation, we also have to do to the other side. My negative 8's cancel. So negative 8 times negative 7 is a positive 56. And so we get 56z. Plot and label each point. With these, remember, O, U. We need to go over, side to side, before I go up or down. So A, if I have a positive 8, that means over 8. Positive 8 means to the right. And then 0, up or down. So I'm going over from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 0, up or down. So that's my A. Make sure you label these, guys. If you don't label these, I can't give you full credit. So that is A. B, I'm going over side to side, 0. But then because I have a positive 7, that means I'm going up 7. So from the origin, I'm not going left or right any. But then I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, label it. C, I'm going over before up or down, so negative 7 means to the right, or sorry, to the left 7, since it's negative, 0 up or down. So from the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is C. And then 0, negative 6, I'm going 0 left or right, but then I am going down 6 since it's negative. So from the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now E and F, I'm moving in multiple directions. So E, over side to side before up or down. Positive 3 means I'm going to the right 3. And then positive 1 means I am going up 1. So from the origin, we're going to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then up 1. This is point E. And then F, negative 2, negative 3, over side to side first. So negative makes me go left, negative 2, and then negative 3 makes me go down 3. So from the origin, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going opposite. So read the points shown from the graph as an ordered pair. So here is my A. So how many am I going along my x-axis first? Then how many am I going on my y-axis? We are still using OU, over, side to side, before we go up or down. So from the origin, to get to this point, we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a positive 8. And then from here, we are going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B right here, over side to side. So from the origin, we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. And then from here, we went down 1, 2, 3. Down means negative, so negative 3. C, over side to side. So from the origin, we went over 1, 2, 3, 4. But then from here, I didn't go up or down. It's right here on the x-axis. So 0 vertical movement. D, from the origin, I'm not going left nor right. So because I'm not going over side to side, that's a 0. And then we went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's down, that's a negative 5. E right here, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over side to side, and since it is to the left and negative, it's a negative 6. And then because this is on the x-axis, that means I didn't go up nor down, so 0. And lastly, F right here, From the origin, we went 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because we're going to the left, that's a -6. And then we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going up is positive, so a +6. 19, fill in the table and graph. So it's already giving me 2 points. So my first one, when x is 0, we're plugging in a 0 here. So x equals 0, we've got y equals 3 times 0 minus 6. 0 times anything is 0. So we get y equals, be careful here, that 6 is negative, so we get -6. So -6 here. So let's go ahead and plot that. So OU, we are going over side to side 0, and then I'm going up or down -6. Negative means down. So from the origin, going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my first point. So now it tells me that y is 0. So we got y equals 0. So plug in a 0 for this y here. So 0 equals 3x minus 6. Get x by itself. So let's add that 6 over. We get 6 equals 3x. Divide by 3. And we get x equals 2. So we get a 2 right here. So over side to side, +2, which means to the right. And then we're going 0 up or down. So from the origin, 1, 2, 0 up or down. So here's my next point. And so you have to pick another point. The easiest thing to do here is to look at the pattern. We went from 0 to 2 by adding 2. So let's just add another 2 and get 4 here. Okay, so again, what I did, follow your pattern. We went 0 to 2 by adding 2. So let's just add another 2. 2 plus 2 gives me 4. So when x equals 4, plug in a 4 for this number here. So we get y equals 3 times 4 minus 6. So we get 12 minus 6. So my y here equals 6. So plot that. So we're going over side to side, a +4, and then up or down 6, which is an up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So lucky us, those lines are in a straight line, or those dots are in a straight line, so we can connect them. And again, don't forget your arrows on these. '20, fill in the table and graph. Okay, do you see how much work we just did for 19? You guys do better on these problems here that require a lot of work than you do on problems like this that require literally no work. If y is 8, that means down this column here, everything here needs to be 8. So then, because I have no x here, that means these numbers here do not matter. Just pick something. So they use 0, 1. I always use 0, 1, 2. But you can use any number you want. If we want to use 7, we can use 7. It does not matter. So plot these points. So 0, 8, you show U. We're going 0 up, 0 over, side to side. And then 8 up or down, in this case, up. So from the origin, we're going 0 left or right. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up. Okay, 1, 8. 1 over, side to side, 8 up. From the origin, 1 over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up. Now, if we would have put a 2 right here, this dot would have been right here. They would have all been right there in a row. Because we didn't, or because I didn't, 7, 8 means 7 over, side to side, 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get your horizontal line. And again, make sure there's arrows on this line. It does not start and stop on this graph. So, as you can see here, this problem has 3 little problems in it, right? 1, 2, 3. This one literally requires no work. And you guys will miss this one and get this one right. Okay, when you see y equals a number, put that number down here and just put some numbers in for that x. Vice versa on this one here. You don't have the table filled out at all, but we don't need help on this one, guys. They are telling you x equals 8. So on your x column, we are putting in what x is, which is 8. So then here, just put numbers. It does not matter. We'll put any number. So I always like my classic 0, 1, 2. But again, just like this one here, you can put any numbers, you're still going to get that straight line. So plot. You got 8, 0, 8, 0. You've got 8, 1. I need to make these dots a little bit smaller. And then you've got 8, 2. Here's your vertical line. And again, arrows. 22, find the perimeter of the following figure. Do not forget units. You will not get full credit if you do. So, perimeter means to add up all the sides. So you can do this directly from your triangle, but if you want to write it out, your perimeter is 11t plus 21 plus 14t. So you've got a like term here, 11t, and a positive 14t. Why? because they both have a T at the very end. This one does not. So add them up. Now you can also just do this straight from your triangle. Circle your like terms. We've got 11T plus 14T, so 11 plus 14 is 25, so 25T. And then you have nothing to combine with this one, so plus 21. What are my units on this one? We've got centimeters. So here is your perimeter. Now in 23, we're not just finding perimeter, we are also finding area. So when you're finding perimeter, you have 21 and 11T. That means this top one is also 21 centimeters. It means this side one is also 11T centimeters. So add these all up. 11T plus 11T is 22T. And then 21 plus 21 is 42. Don't forget units. So this is centimeters. Now for area, because we're dealing with a rectangle, it is length times width. Really doesn't matter what you call the length and what you call the width. Technically, your length is 21. And technically, your width is 11T. So multiply. 21 times 11. 1 times 1 is 1. 21 times 1. Nope. 2 times 1 is 2. Skip a place. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 2 is 2. Add these together. 1 and nothing gives me 1. 2 and 1 gives me 3. And then 2 and nothing give me 2. So my area here is 231. Again, T, don't forget your variable here. And again, don't forget units. And when you find area, it is always square units. So centimeters squared. And of course, you could also do square centimeters if you prefer doing that instead of your centimeters squared. And we can't end this without a nice word problem. So your last problem here, video game system and games cost $448. The cost of the system is 3 times as much as the cost of the game. So we need to write and solve an equation that represents this problem. So we have a game system. And we have games. We need to pick something to represent these. So the cost of the system is 3 times as much as the cost of the game. Which one of these do we know nothing about? These games. We have no info. Because we have no info on those games, let's go ahead and put that in red too. Because we have no info on these games, my games is my starting point. That is my regular variable, that's your X. Every time you do these, you're going to have something that's just an X or just whatever variable you want. If you wanted to pick G, that would be fine. So then if I know that the cost of the system is 3 times as much as this game here, my game is X, to cost 3 times as much, that's 3X. And I know this plus this equals my total of 448. So we get 3X. I'm going to scoot this over actually a little bit. We get 3X plus X equals 448. Be careful, you've got to do this right here. If you don't do this portion here, you're just going to read that your game system costs 3 times as much. And you're just going to do 3x equals 448. But this right here only represents the game system, so you're not accounting in for those games here. So that's why it's really important that you kind of label what your variables are. So that is the right portion. So now let's solve it. So let's get x by itself. So the first thing we need to do is combine like terms. 3x plus x gives me 4x. So you get 4x equals 448. Divide by 4. And we get x equals, here 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 8 2 times. So this is me solving the equation. So I'll put solve as the circle. So part B wants to know what is the cost of the video game system. Well, my video game system costs 3x. Well, what does x equal? X is this 112. So this means we get 3 times 112 to get the cost of the games. So 112 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times 3 is 3. So what is the cost of the video game system? That's 336. What is the cost of the games? My games is just x, and since x is 112, this just costs 112. Now these are really easy to check. Add these up, and do we get to the total that we have spent? So 336 plus 112, 6 plus 2 is 8, 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 plus 1 is 4. So yes, we've done this right. All right, you guys got a test coming up. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Pause this video, rewind it as you need to.